Ocean Gate's Titan submarine began its journey from St. John Port, Canada. The location where it was to dive into the ocean is 700 kilometers away from St. John in the North Atlantic Ocean. And at this point, Titanic's shipwreck is also present in the depths of the ocean below the cold water. The journey began on Saturday, June 17, 2023, and according to the plan, the next day, Sunday, at 8 a.m., the Titan was to be launched into the water. Let me tell you here that a problem was noticed in the Titan before the dive, but despite that, it was put at risk and launched into the ocean. What was the problem and why was this danger taken even though it was known? Well, there were a total of 5 people present on this trip, including Action Aviation's founder, Hamish Harding. He had also traveled to space with Jeff Bezos. On the second number is Stockton Rush, who was also the CEO of Ocean Gate. This American company provides submersibles for ocean tourism. On the third number is 77-year-old Paul Henry, who had previously visited the Titanic. He was an expert on shipwrecks and was well aware of the scattered parts of the Titanic. And finally, the Pakistani business tycoon Prince Dawood was part of this submarine with his son Suleiman. Before diving on June 17, Hamish Harding posted his last post on the internet. He said that his dive was delayed due to the severe cold weather. Tomorrow morning, when the weather will be better for a while, we will dive. These 5 people were going to see the famous Titanic wreck to fulfill their desire. After sinking in 1912, efforts continued to search for it for the next several years. But due to the harsh conditions of the Atlantic Ocean, this work was not so easy. Then in 1985, finally, the wreck of the RMS Titanic was found on the ocean floor. The Titanic had left behind so many questions that it was time to find answers to them. Dozens of expeditions were arranged, in which experts and researchers from different countries took part in the Titanic shipwreck. Canadian filmmaker James Cameron toured the Titanic wreck dozens of times in 1995. And then in 1997, the Titanic movie was released. As far as the success of the Titanic movie was concerned, it completed it. It made so much noise that it became a dream of millions of people to see the wreck of the Titanic. This work is now not only limited to the purpose of research, but tourists have also started going to the shipwreck site. It is said that going to the depth of the ocean is more difficult than going into space. And the biggest reason for this is the pressure of water. The Titanic shipwreck is 4,000 meters below sea level, i.e. 4 kilometers below. If you want to imagine this depth, look at Burj Khalifa and understand that the Titanic shipwreck is about 5 times the height of Burj Khalifa in the sea. The pressure of water in this depth is 5,800 psi. This will be the same pressure that a whole elephant is erected not on the entire human body, but only on the part of 1 square inch. So now you can guess how many square inches will be in a submarine and how much pressure will be applied to it. Anyway, the submarine journey started on Sunday, June 18, 2023 at 12 noon. Normally, it takes 2 hours to reach the Titanic. But after 1 hour and 45 minutes, the mothership Polar Prince, which was waiting above, lost contact with the submarine. If it took 2 hours to reach the Titanic, then just 15 minutes before the contact, it means that the submarine must have reached very close to the Titanic. It is impossible to reach the sunlight in this depth of the sea. And it is extremely dark here at all times. It is normal for a wireless signal to break at this depth. Therefore, this was not taken too seriously. This entire trip was a total of 7 hours. They had to return from 12 o'clock to 7 o'clock in the evening. But by 7 o'clock in the evening, there was no contact with the Titanic and neither did it return. So now the sweat of the crew on the mothership above began to fall. The Canadian research vessel Polar Prince began searching for the Titanic. At 9:40, he contacted the US Coast Guard for help. The next day, on Monday, US and Canadian ships and planes began a proper search operation throughout the area. Not only on the seafloor, but also with the help of sonar scanning, they continued their search in the water. The commercial vessels in this area were also ordered to keep their eyes open. This search continued for the next 2 days, but no trace of the Titanic could be found. But then there was a ray of hope. On Wednesday, June 21st, at 6 a.m., the search team heard some voices from the depths of the water. These voices were heard with the help of underwater radars. Immediately, the ROVs were sent in the direction of the voice, but this time too, there was no news of the Titanic. Now the fear of losing the Titanic forever was increasing. The oxygen in the Titanic submarine was only 96 hours or 4 days. And by this time, 3 out of 4 days had passed. But the search teams of the US, Canada, and France did not lose hope. On Thursday, June 22nd, at 12 p.m., the ROVs were sent to the Titanic. What was seen there was really heartbreaking. At 3:48 p.m., the ROV that had reached the Titanic saw a part of the bow of the Titanic lying only 1,600 feet away from the Titanic. What had gone to see the Titanic's wreck, now its wreck became headlines all over the world. This only means that the submarine could not bear the pressure of the water and burst into the depths of the sea. This news caused a stir all over the world. Many questions were raised about the safety of the Ocean Gate. The CEO of Ocean Gate, Stockton Rush, who himself has lost his life in this incident, said in 2021 that he knows that he has broken some rules while making the Titanic. Because he has made the Titanic not with steel, but with aviation-grade carbon fiber. But he wanted to do some new innovations in this industry. That's when carbon fiber was replaced with steel. For the first time, before the launch, the Titanic was tested at a pressure of 5,000 to 10,000 psi, in which it passed. But experts believe that thousands of types of forces fall on the submarine in the ocean, in which not only the pressure, but also the flow of water, which is caused by the waves. In addition, due to the darkness, it is also possible that a heavy stone or a sea creature collides with the submarine. No matter what, one of the reasons for the destruction of the Titanic was the solution of its carbon fiber. But the second reason was that there were already existing cracks in it. Yes, in the Titanic submarine 2019, a businessman named Carl Stanley was also taken. And even at that time, he was being operated by the CEO of Ocean Gate. Carl said that during that journey, when he was going down, he heard the sound of cracking from the body of the Titanic. At that time, he did not pay much attention to this sound because he had complete faith in the CEO of Ocean Gate, who had designed this submarine himself. But after this incident, he told CNN that perhaps that sound was a warning that the Titanic's body was not able to withstand the pressure of water. If this is true, then there is no doubt that there were already cracks in the Titanic's body. In 2018, an executive of Ocean Gate raised his voice against the Titanic's carbon fiber body. He said that this problem would be found only a few milliseconds before the submarine exploded. And this is exactly what happened in reality. The depth in which the Titanic has exploded, experts say that it will take only 0.3 seconds for it to explode. We hope you will like and share this video of Zem TV. Thank you very much for your loving comments. See you in the next great video.